Let me do a quick addendum of something that I do really like and appreciate from that chapter 23. That did stick with me. Now, I do love Tavor, and I did not expect exactly what was going to happen with her, especially when she is being told that she is going to have to give up command. I love that part because it so rings true with something that is a natural kind of obsession of mine that I've mentioned over and over and over, and that is Rome. Now, I won't get all the names right because I do pretty well with the names, but yeah, I can give some examples. What is the thing that people fear, or what is the thing that Roman emperors fear the most? It is a general who has people more loyal to them than to Rome. And remember, these guys, these people who showed up, gave their allegiance not to the empress, but to Rome, or to Tavor. And so that's what they were asking in that moment. They were saying, are these people going to accept Lacine's rule, or are they going to follow you? So, if in this last chapter they suddenly are kind of gathering around Tavor, uh, and 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 they are almost seen as this other threat, I will think that is very cool. Um, think of Germanicus. Germanicus got his name for fighting up in the German regions of the borders of the empire, and I think it was something like 2/3 of Roman military were up in that area, and he, I believe, was famous for recovering a couple of these golden eagles that would be on top of the standards. That if you lost those, it was like a terrible, terrible omen. It was terrible to lose those. Remember, everything is wrapped up in religion or more kind of the gods would not be happy about that. And if you could return those, you would kind of come home as a conquering hero. And Julius Caesar had that persona around him where it wasn't that people were fighting for Rome as much as a lot of these people were really loyal to him. And people would sometimes start to kind of say, you should be the emperor of this place. And that's why it was illegal for them to march across the Rubicon, which Caesar did with your armed military or whatever. And now you could become very, very powerful because you would often have to front the bill, and you would get to, you would go off and do these military campaigns, and Rome would get their cut, but everything else would go to you and whatever you were going to give to your people who would fight for you. So not only was it often lucrative for the commander, it was very lucrative for the people under them. They would sometimes get promised land and great wealth and slaves and all these things. So it could be, and that's why it was a great honor to have that SPQR brand right on your skin. And they didn't want foreigners or slaves fighting in their army. And Anyway, we have Germanicus, who was up north, and then he was the father, I believe, of Caligula, Little Boots, and he was out in Syria area and suddenly died. And people would, I think this was around the same time. I sometimes get these dates wrong because it's such a big history. Tiberius, everyone was afraid, or he was afraid of getting knocked out by, or maybe getting sieged. And I always get this stuff wrong, but you get the idea. What would happen if another person like Germanicus did what Caesar did? And that would happen. That would happen. We have the year of the four emperors, and we'd have people marching on Rome and overthrowing the people from before. And Tavor could be seen as this type of threat, in the same way that Dujek kind of could be seen in that way, and now he's dead from this plague. Whiskey Jack definitely could rally people, and people were definitely loyal to him. And so, even though I was expecting something else, I can't say I'm low overall on this book, because I did like that scene. Now, I didn't love the whole Fiddler thing, even though I love the bridge burners. And I still love Fiddler. But if Tavor now verges off and becomes this figurehead to this new Bonehunters, I will think that is very cool. And now the thing is, if this is just the birth of it, there is great potential in that for me. But I guess I was just expecting something different, because I felt like the birth of the Bonehunters was in House of Chains a little bit, with the pendants, and I was expecting more at the end of House of Chains. And now in this one they had Egatan, which was like this Raraku bridge burner moment. But I guess I just haven't still fallen in love with these guys and gals. But it did take a while for me to do that with the bridge burners as well, and I flippin' love the bridge burners. Now, if I can get that way for the Bone Hunters, it may be that I look back on this book like Mora has mentioned, and that got me thinking as well. Like, what would I look back on this book and like, if and see as kind of this new sort of beginning, and it would have to be this new group with, I would assume with Tavor as this figurehead. And I still don't know where this is going to conclude. And so I'm going to read chapter 24 tonight, and may have some different opinions. I'm still waiting for these sky keeps. Don't know where those things are at. I figured they would be converging at some point. There was a lot about the Kachane, Shamal, and the other ones. I gotta just learn their name. The short tail ones that start with the N. I'm still dying to know how this thing with Mappo goes, and how this thing with Karsa goes. So in some ways, I know, don't take my car video as a condemnation of the whole book. I just knew, because of you guys, I knew people were saying, like, oh, you're going to love chapter 23, and I'm not blaming you, I'm just joking. But I think I was expecting chapter 23 to be Karsa and Mappo and stuff, because that's what I care about right now. But at the same time, I did think that was a cool moment with Empress Lysine and Tavor. But I gotta I got a popsicle in me. It's still in me, and I will keep going. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Bye.